Hello everybody, this is Grandmaster Varuzhan Akobian and I'm glad to be back for my GM in residence for the next 3 weeks. And today is going to be a class on Endgame, so I prepared several positions that I want to show you. And the first one we're going to start out with a very famous position, and some of you might know this, but I think it would be useful to go over it for some people who don't know it, or even for some players who perhaps maybe forgot a little bit, okay? So this position, we have is white to play and win, okay? This is a famous Lucena position. So the most important thing about this position here, guys, that you have is that you have the rook cutting off the king. So the king cannot cross, okay? King cannot cross, so remember that, okay? So if king somehow crosses, it's most likely going to be a draw. So you have to remember that. So if your last move was rook e1 from a1 to e1, that would be a fantastic move. Cut the king off. And the idea of cut the king in a rook endgame is extremely, extremely important, okay? So you gotta remember that. So in this position, we're gonna start, we have a few ways, few things we have to do in order to win this. The goal number one is try to advance our pawn. So we're gonna have some moves. Rook e2, f5. Let's say he stays here. King g6, check here. Now you go rook d1, check. Now the king cannot go here, cannot go any of the squares, so he has to go back. Okay? So that's great because now he is further away. He is further away now from the pawn. Okay, that is perfect. So now we continue push. Okay? Now, you have to try the next plan here. After, let's say he waits here. Next step is, we're going to try to continue advancing our pawn. Okay? Now, f7. And now, opponent is going to play the most challenging move, rook g2. If he doesn't play rook g2, let's say he plays rook f3. I'm going to play rook g1. King d7. g7, king e7, rook e1 check, goes here, f8, queen, takes, king takes, and white is winning. White is winning quite easily, so that's why the idea is to play rook c1. So that's why you play rook g2 to try to protect the position. Now the idea is try to prevent the king from coming in here. And now I want to give you a few minutes to find, 2 minutes thinking for you, okay? To see white to play. What is the correct idea to try to find a win? Anybody, maybe you can type in the chat here so I can see your answer here. What's this idea called here? What is this idea called, everybody?
Do you have the chat open?
Yes, yeah. Okay, perfect, yeah. So I can see several people typing. Adil, my friend Adil McDonald, yeah, I very, and few other people, let's see, rook d4, but I need somebody to mention the idea, guys. You're saying a move. Explain the idea, why you're suggesting that move, okay? Why are you suggesting the move? What plan? Lucena, okay? You're trying to build the Lucena position by playing rook d4. Now, after that, he will play, let's say, rook g1. And now, build the bridge. Correct. Gurav. Correct, Gurav. And Richard 10. Everybody. Perfect. Now, check. King goes on f6. Check. King goes here. Check. King goes here. Check. Rook f4. And now, if takes, king will take it. Okay? Takes. King will take it, and then you promote the pawn with f8, okay? Okay. Promote the pawn into a queen. So remember, once you get this position, the king has to be 2 squares away from the pawn, so he cannot catch him. Then you will go here, and you'll see now the king is further away from the pawn. You cannot catch it. Okay? Now, what example, let's say he goes here now. what are you gonna do? Let's say he goes here. Now you're gonna try to bring the bridge closer. Now you're gonna try to bring the bridge closer, okay? So you go here, boom. Now it goes here, rook f5, takes, king takes, and now you can promote the pawn into a queen, okay? So remember that, f8, queen. Okay, once again, some of you are familiar with this, but I think it was very important to go over it again. And if you had this position, let's go back to the original position. Let's say your rook is somewhere else. Let's say the rook is not on e1. You want to make sure if you are in a position like this, your winning move is rook e1. Once again, with the idea is to cut the king off, okay? So remember that. Next position I have for you. We're going to talk about some king and pawn endgames here, okay? We're going to talk about some king and pawn endgames. So this one. White to play and win. Now, this one is opposition, okay? But you have to do the triangulation. You have to use a triangulation to win the opposition, okay? Triangulation. Who can explain in the chat what is triangulation? What is the basic idea of triangulation? What is I know you're typing triangulation. Yes, triangulate. But the point of triangulation is you basically want to achieve the same position but with opponent's turn. Technically, yes, it's called lose a tempo. Lose a tempi, okay? So you have to remember that, okay? Lose a tempi. Remember that. So now, you play king d5. This is one of the more complicated triangulations, okay? So now he goes king c8. Now, you may think like, wait a minute, I can come here. He can go here. I can come here, he can go here, and then we have a suksavang, okay? We have a suksavang here, okay? So, that's a problem, you know, and it's going to be a draw here. So that's why we have to do something here. That will be a stalemate. So, now, how can you reach the same position with opponent's turn? King c4, that is a good suggestion. Now, if he comes here, then you go king c5, and you have the opposition. And your king will sneak to b6 and pick up a6 and win the game. So, he will play king c4. Let's say he goes here, king d8. Now you play king d4. Now he goes here, king c8. And now, king d5. The point here is, if he goes to c7, you go king c5. If he goes to d6, you go king d6. King c8, you go c7. King b7, king d7. King c7. And now, do you want a queen here? Huh? Do you want a queen? No, because if you queen, it's going to be what? A stalemate. So that's why you don't want to rush here. Nope. I don't want you to get a rook here. The rook is going to take too long. I need you to find a checkmate in 3. Who can type in the chat checkmate in 3, guys? I know you're saying rook, but I need you to be most effective, okay? Most effective here. King c6. Now he goes here. c8 queen check. And now, queen b7 mate. Okay? And you got the mate. Perfect. All right. So, once again, understanding that what's triangulation. You want to lose a tempi when you're doing a triangulation, guys. Remember that. That's what you're trying to do when you do triangulation. Next. See, I will bring one more, but this is fairly simple. We're going to go over this really quickly because this is a very simple, same idea, triangulation, but very simple one compared to other one, but still useful to know. White to play and win here. And again, you will just use the method of triangulation, okay? How are you going to do that? How can we do the triangulation here? To again, we just simply want to achieve the same position with opponent's turn here. Okay, yeah, you can do king d2, or you can start out with king e2, or even king c2. It doesn't really matter. So let's say king c2. Now the point is he has to stick with f6 square, because if he tries to come here to win the pawns, you're going to go f6, f7. You're going to queen. If he goes here, you're going to continue push. Here you're going to go here simply g5, and you just white is just winning. So he has to go king f6. Now he goes king f6. Now triangulate. You have to triangulate. King e2, correct, Zachary? Correct, Adil? Kosti, correct, Richard? Yeah, perfect. Well, not king d3, guys. Not king d3, Stephen and Radu. If you go king d3, then it's the same position, king e5. You don't want to do that. Remember, we're trying to lose a move here. So king e2, perfect. Why not king d3? Stephen, if you go king d3, king e5, it's the same exact position. Okay? We don't accomplish much. So that's why we want to go here first. King e2. Now when he goes king e5, then you go king d3. And now you achieve the triangulation. You understand? Now he steps away. Thank you very much, okay? If he goes here, we push. He goes here, we push. Got it? So remember that, okay? If he steps away, you're just going to push the pawns. All right. So again, quite simple triangulation. Again, the point of triangulation is reach the same position with opponent's turn. So essentially, lose a move. Okay? So remember that. Lose a move. Remember. All right, since we're on the king and pawn topic here, I want to make sure you are familiar with this position. Some of them you might seen in my previous videos, but I have some new ones as well for you. So this one, white to play, and there is a way for you to make a draw here. How can you do it? White to play and draw. Which method you're going to use here to make a draw? So here we're trying to use the idea called distant opposition, okay? Okay? We have several oppositions, guys. We have a regular opposition, we have a diagonal opposition, we have a distant opposition, okay? So one of the most important things, you have to know this different types of oppositions, okay? Because knowing this will help you in your end games. So here, which move? I see several people typing the correct move. Yes, opposition. Whenever we're talking about the opposition, it should be odd number of squares between your king and opponent's king. So the opposition is king h1. Now he goes here. That's the opposition, okay? Odd number of squares will give you the opposition. Now he goes here. What do you do? King here. He goes here. King here. Now he goes here. King e2, king g2. Now he goes here. And again, you achieve the opposition. Again, don't try to go after the pawns here, okay? Again, your objective is not to try to win the pawns here, because if you do that, guess what? He's going to get behind it and push you away. You're going to lose now. You're going to lose the pawn, okay? You don't want that to happen, okay? This. So here you will just stay with the king g3, okay? Now king e2, king h1, and now the last trick here. Last trick, last attempt here, g4. Now g4 is played, and again, we have to think. Great Wolf will go over the difference. Can you show how king f1 doesn't work? Sure. I presume in original position, right? King f1. King f1, the problem is he goes here. You go here, and now look at this. This pawn is on your way. You cannot keep the opposition because of that, okay? Because now you're going to lose. So you're going to go here, and he's going to get the opposition on you. And then he's going to get behind it and push you away from your pawn, and then he's going to queen, okay? So that's what you got to try to see. That's your difference, okay? So you don't, that's what you got to try to do. So now let's say he plays g4, and now if you take, you're going to be in serious trouble, okay? Because if you take, he's going to push. Sorry. If you take, he's going to push. You push, he push. You push, he push. You push, he queens with the check, okay? He queens with the check. And now it's going to be a trouble, okay? Okay? So that's why when he goes here, g4, we don't want to take here. We're just simply going to go king g2, correct? Now, if he takes, we're going to take back with the king. He goes here, king e4, and you're going to pick up the pawn, okay? So, black is going to try to set up the last trap for you. King d2. Now he takes, you push. Takes, you push. Here, you push. And what's going to happen here, now your king is no longer on a back rank here. It's not on a back rank, so you're going to simply queen. And it's a draw, but once again, I want to make sure you don't play the blunder here. In this kind of positions, don't go up, guys. Stay on a back rank, okay? Stay on a back rank so you don't get skewered or something, okay? Stay on the back rank. That's the key for you to remember, okay? You must stay on a back rank. Okay, very good. Okay, a very important position for you to know. And we talk about the oppositions. So this is part of that opposition, guys. And here you have to, I don't want to say anything. I just want you to find it, okay? Black to play and win, okay? Black to play and win. Can you please calculate the idea? Because look, rook and a bishop versus rook is a draw, okay? So now you're getting ready to lose the g4. So what are you going to do here? What can you do in this position? Now what can we do here? Okay, let's see here. Takes. No, not king f6, Zachary. Not king f6. Takes. King d4, king 4. Correct a deal. Correct a deal. All right, march in. Correct. Here, let's see. Who else? Now, not king f6, guys. Not king f6 because... Yeah, this is... this is an opposition, but this is a little bit different kind of opposition, okay? So you got to get closer to the pawns, okay, here. So it's important for you to get closer to the pawns because you want to win the pawn here, okay? So that's why you want to do. You want to try to go king to d4, okay? And you want to shoulder away the king, okay? Now king e4. King d3. Now you're shouldering him away. King e2. King f2. Now he takes back on g3. Now he goes king g1. Now he's trying to achieve the opposition, okay? Now he's trying to achieve the opposition. So now, what's the correct move here? It's still not too late to make a mistake and let the opponent slip away here, guys. But you're not going to let that happen. You're going to find the correct move here. What's the correct move here? Okay, correct. King, correct, yes. King h3. What you're trying to tell him, basically, you tell him, go away. Go away, basically. That's what you're trying to tell him, okay? Go away from the corner. If, let's say, you go here, he's going to go here. You're going to push. He's going to go here. You're going to push. He's going to go here. You're going to go here, and that's going to be a stalemate. Okay? Got it? So you don't want that. And also, you don't want to play king f2 because that would be a stalemate as well. So that's why you're simply going to go king h3. He goes king h1. You push. He push. You push. He push. You push and queen. Got it? Perfect. And that's how you're going to get the win. So, once again, the topic for this one is, this actually happened, similar position happened in the game Mamedyarov-Nakamura, okay, in Olympiad. Look at the game, guys. 2014 Chess Olympiad match, last round match, I believe, USA versus Azerbaijan. Look at that game, okay? It's just Mamedyarov was playing white, so he sacked on f7 basically, okay? But I want to add a detail about this, okay? I want to add a detail here. I want to add something here to see. Now, it's again black to play here, okay? Black to play here. My question to you here is, let's see here. Something with a chess base here. Let's see. Close it or?
What is that?
It's glitching the chess base.
It's Windows.
Yeah. Too many windows.
No, that doesn't.
Maybe
make
just
sense.
close it and open.
Did that just start? Did you hit anything?
No, it just happened.
Okay. Is it okay if I close?
Yeah, I can set it up.
Well, here, try to close that up.
Okay. 1 second, guys. We are gonna restart the chess base. Okay. I don't know what's going on with the chess base, and it's not. It's maybe not even a chess base. It's. Yeah. So, what should I do, Ben? Okay, guys, we are back. Sorry, let a thing glitch with the computer. Okay, sorry about that. But let's get it going. So, I hope you had time to look up that game. Okay, since I had a little technical difficulty here. Did you guys anybody look up that game that I mentioned? When I explain you things, I like to reference games because I think it will help you to remember better. You know. That's what I do with my students, my private students as well. Whenever I'm showing them some openings, I like to bring some reference games here, okay, for you. Okay, now, what to do here, guys? If can you take on F2 here and assume that you're gonna be able to win? Same concept here, right? Take. Is this position winning here, or there is a miracle save maybe here for white? Yeah, this was a Windows problem, guys. So we had to reboot the computer. Anybody found that game? Yeah. Nakam. Well, I think Mamediaro was white. I think, but maybe I'm wrong. All right, what's the plan here? Well. Kosti, if you play h4, I play king d3, you lose the pawns. Let's see. Here white plays h4 and it's a draw. Adil, how's this a draw? King d3? I will shoulder you out, Adil. Focus, okay? This is a serious stuff here. I think unfortunately Hikaru took on g4 earlier, so he didn't have this resource, okay? But here, white has a fantastic resource, guys. You have a fantastic resource. White has a fantastic resource here. What's the resource here to do? Now, not king f1, guys. King f1, I go king e3. Now, the correct resource I see is... Wait, no, not for stalemate, guys. It's not going to be a stalemate here. King e2, correct. Two players, Kosti and Devagya, and now Radu suggesting it. Guys, now, the point being here is if he takes, you will go back, and as we know, the corner pawns are drawn. You can have 6 pawns here if you want. It still can. You're not going to be able to break through, okay? You could have 6 pawns. It's still going to be a draw. Okay, so now he's going to go here. He's going to claim the opposition. But as soon as he claims the opposition, you have a move here to win the opposition. And that move here is h4. And suddenly he has to move his king, and you are the one with the opposition, okay? You are the one with the opposition. Okay, he goes here, you go here. He goes here, I go here. And you will be able to win this game. All right? So you have to remember that this is very, very important, okay? Idea. So keep in mind this resource of king e2. You leave the tension for your advantage, okay? You leave the tension for your advantage to break, okay? So remember, king e4, then you will play h4. All right. So keep this in mind, okay? So here, you know, if you block here, you play rook f2, it's not gonna be a win, okay? It's not gonna be a win. Can you show how win after opposition? After opposition? How? Well, you have to play king e2, guys. And now, king e4, it's a draw. You cannot win in this position. It's opposition. So he goes here, you go here. He goes here, you go here. It's a draw. Okay? Okay? I hope everybody understands this position, okay? Moving forward, okay? All right. Let me ask you this here. How many of you studied opposite color endgame bishops? Okay? No triangulation. No, it doesn't work. No. How many of you studied some opposite color endgame positions and know the concept of this? Please type in the chat that you're familiar with opposite color bishops. Well, I've been doing this for a very long time. That's how I remember this. I've been playing chess for 31 years now. So, and I've been coaching for close to 20 years. So, yeah, just a lot of experience and a lot of effort. Okay. All right, opposite color. Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, 100 endgames you need to know, but my stuff is maybe 25. 25 must endgame. So this is what I teach to my students, you know. All my private students, they have to know this 25 position. It's like a course, okay? You went through this course, you're going to graduate knowing your basics, most important endgame positions, okay? So here, one thing you should know is if you allow opponent two connected pass pawns reach the 6th rank and they're not black, you're going to lose. Once again, I repeat, if you let them reach the 6th rank and you don't block them, you are going to lose. Okay? So remember that. Okay? So that's why we are going to play. How are we going to stop it? We have several ways we can try to stop it. We can try to play bishop g4. We can try to do other things. But how can we stop it? Yeah, well, yeah, I'm very familiar with Dvoretsky Endgame Manual. It's a very good book, but it's I think it's made for more advanced players, you know, probably over 2,000, 2,100 maybe. So now, what's the idea here? Anybody, what's the approach here? We can defend from the back. We can defend from the side. We can defend, you know, from g4. But what's the correct approach here? Here you have to use what's called the active defense. Active defense you have to use here, you know. If you're interested in private lessons, just go to my website, guys. Everything is there, okay? So you just go to my website, you will find more information, okay? So let's focus on the class here. So most important thing is bishop h7, bishop h5, bishop f7, correct approach. This is called defending from the front, okay? Defending from a front. So he goes here and then you bring the bishop here. Look at this. He goes here. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay? And you win. If he goes here d6, you go bishop h6 and you cement the position. Okay? You cement the position. Got it? So remember, you play bishop h5, e5, bishop f7. If you play d6, you go bishop e6. Lock it up the position. If he plays e6, I take. Takes. King takes. e6. Got it? Okay. And here he can try to go here. You go here, you wait. He goes here, you go here. You go here. Goes here, I go here. If he plays d6, you go bishop e6. Again, you keep the blockade on, okay? Blockade on in this position. If he plays e6, you're gonna take, and take. Got it? So one thing about this you have to remember, you want to do an active defense, okay? Active defense, attack from the front, okay? All right. Next position is going to require some serious calculation. So this is for players who will be able to calculate very long, okay? All right. White to play and win. Okay, white to play and win. My website is just my last name, guys, akobian.com, okay? If you go there, you'll find information about my games, my lessons, about me, okay? So just you have to type my last name.com. So, white to play and win, okay? white to play and win, but how you're going to do that here? Okay, very, very important. How we are going to do that? Yeah. Yeah, it's about losing. Yeah, it's about losing some tempi here once again. If you play king e4, unfortunately I play c5. Okay. Unfortunately I play c5, and now king d5. I have d3. If you go here, I go here, and I go here. Unfortunately, it's going to be a draw. So it's not about going there directly. You have to think a little bit, okay? You have to think a little bit. No, king e5, guys. Where are you going? You're trying to lose the game? Be careful, huh? We have to kind of lose a move here, okay? We have to kind of lose a tempi here. So, and in order to lose a tempi, yes, we can go king f3, correct. Now he plays c6. He's waiting for you. And now, again, if you go king e4, he plays c5. Don't rush. Don't rush, Adil. What do you have to do first? King f4, correct. Now he can play c5, but you play king 4, or he can go here. It's the same thing. So let's say he goes here. Well, this is just losing. King e5 now. This is just easily you winning, mate. Okay? So he has to play c5. Now, what do you do? Now, what do you do? Now, king e4, correct. Now, opponent is going to go here to e8. Now, what can you do here? King d5. If you play d3, king e6. You play d2, and now you have f7. Checkmate. So he has to go king d7 to oppose you. Yes, you should study. Everybody should study more endgames, okay? Because a lot of times you will get into these positions and you want to have the knowledge. You're not going to know exactly, but you want to build the knowledge, okay? That knowledge will help you to understand what to do. Now, what's the move here? Important move here, guys. And once again here, he cannot play d3 because you play king e6 and f7 mate. So he has to go here. Now, what do you do? King c4, correct. Now he has to go back, no choice. So he goes back. Now what do you do? Now, what's the winning move here? Yeah, we can take. Perfect. Attacking the pawn, he goes here. We can go here. We can go here. He queens. And we're gonna mate here, see? Bravo, bravo. That's the correct idea, okay? All right. So once again here, if he goes here, takes. Here, here. If you go king f7, I have king d7. Here, here. Queen and mate. Perfect. Okay, guys, excellent job today. I hope you enjoyed the endgame class today, and we will be back. I will be back with you on Thursday, okay, for the another class Thursday evening. But in the meantime, there is a very exciting event started today, the clutch chess between top 4 American players, and this is very interesting matches. Nakamura versus So and Caruana versus Dominguez. So make sure you tune in and watch that next couple of days. That should be very exciting, okay? But I will be back on Tuesday evening for more lectures, okay? All right, thanks for joining, guys, and thanks for your answers on the chat. So see you on Thursday, everybody.